Welcome, welcome, one and all. Welcome to Tavern Talk. I'm your friendly neighborhood adventurer. I'm CJ, and I'm thrilled to have you join me here on this exciting D&D podcast. Marami magtatanong, what is Tavern Talk? Ano nga ba ang purpose kung bakit tayo may Tavern Talk, or why did you post this? So, I just want to talk about D&D. I really want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons because I'm obsessed with Dungeons and Dragons. So that's why my party mates and I created this. Here we are going to talk about the beautiful game Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to explore our campaigns, our stories, sometimes share tips and tricks on how we play. We're going to discuss our strategy on different scenarios, or how we build stories, or how we build our character backgrounds, or how we create our one shots, and sometimes share hilarious stories about railroading of some of the stories. And we're going to discuss everything, every topic, all things related under the tabletop RPG community. So every session we're going to be joined by our party mates. You'll meet them, Gigi and RM. They'll join me later on discussing about D&D. Gigi and RM definitely knows more about D&D than I do, because long time player na sila, and ako naman recently lang nag-start 6 months, 8 months ago. So mas marami silang experience than me. But we had a great chat about our backgrounds. So let's call this our session 0, since we're going to establish our character backgrounds first before we go into the adventure itself. Sabi nga nila, kapag nagpe-play ka ng Dungeons and Dragons, we're going to build our character first before exploring, or before adventuring, before the game. So without further ado, gather around the virtual tavern and let's embark on this great journey. Let's go listen to Tavern Talk.
Okay. How was your guys' day? Like the winger, 8 to 5. Do you guys have work? Well, aside from Gigi, you're on break.
I've sort of just started. Like, honestly, I just spent like a lot of my time just like playing games and everything. Now that I actually have the time to do that now, like started up Dead Cells again. Though I did like there was one thing that I did where I went out because like my brother and like in CSA there's this thing where like it's a requirement that they have like a booth or like something, and then they sell products, and then that's like donated to charity. Like I went to like my high school today just to like buy shit, but they didn't even let me in. So I kind of just waited there for people to get me the stuff I wanted. But it's really cool though, because like
They didn't let you in.
Don't they have? Don't they have like? You should be an alumni by now.
yeah, I am an alumni. That's the thing. But like, I mean,
If you're an
yeah,
alumni,
I
diba?
didn't. The thing is, I didn't exactly. Okay, it's on me for like not having proof, I guess. But at the same time, like, I think in CSA they have like an alumni card, and my brain is like, do I really have to go back to CSA just to get a card? I was just like sitting outside. I was just sitting there like waiting for my brother and like his class like wrap up and like close shop just so I can like get some stickers. Really cool stuff that they did though, considering like my brother did like some art. They have a bunch of good stickers. They made like 10K on the first day, I think. So like that's fun.
Wait, 10K? Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, 10K on like stickers, pins, mouse pads. I know that they have like prints and shit, but like I don't think that they made those prints. I think they have like Valorant prints, and I know that they sold out in like a bunch of them. But I think that's just of like art from the game. But either way, it's like prints for people to get, I guess. And charity. It's been like
Charity,
hyped
man.
up for a while now. Yeah, that event's been like hyped up for a while now. But I personally was not able, because like, okay, my brother is grade 12. Every single like person in grade 12 goes through that event, but I didn't, or at least I didn't go through it properly because quarantine. So
Didn't go through it
you know.
properly.
we didn't get to have like an actual like booth set up to do shit, everything. I'm pretty sure everything was like online
Oh
tutorials and
right,
all.
your
Even then,
youth
I
was
wasn't
taken away from you by by the
my
pandemic.
bro my the
Sayang.
year I was supposed to graduate. The year I was supposed to graduate high school was like the year of the fucking pandemic. We were about to like end like like grade 11, and then boom, like you
Grabe ang
know.
sad nun. Aakyat ka na ng stage, bigla pang ano, no, guys, sorry, lockdown.
Di nga eh. No, not even that. Kasi the second to the last year, like patapos na yung second to the last year, doon nagsimula yung pandemic. Um, like our final like requirements were submitted online for that year, and then the following year was like, yeah, oops, shit, okay, fully online, guys. I guess we're kind of fucked here. And I didn't really like it, so like I wasn't exactly I was in like a separate program from like the rest of my class, so like I didn't really participate in the thing, which is why I really wanted to see it, but I still wasn't let in. So
That's
That
sad.
sucks.
unfortunate.
Makakakyat ka rin ng
And how?
stage one day.
Yeah, one
Yeah,
day.
one day.
Give it like 3 to 4 years. Pero shit, pati graduation namin like online. Like at like the silver lining, I got to like sit in my room and make fun of people's graduation pictures.
I also remember kasi when it was also the lockdown, yung brother ng girlfriend ko, also the whole class was like from home, like study from home. So it was also unfortunate kasi parang he only experienced 2 years of his college life in campus and the rest was at home lang. And let me just tell you, parang the whole point rin of college life is you get to know people outside or you get to be, parang you reinvent yourself since you are out of high school. Nobody knows you. So you got to make new friends, basically. And
Mm.
during the pandemic, it never transpired to those students kasi all they do is wake up in the morning, go online, go to class, and then after class, they just go offline and just do whatever they have in their house. Which
Yeah.
defeats the purpose of college. Diba? Usually, kasi after you go to class, that's when you
Yeah,
mingle with
that
the
true.
other students.
Yeah, cause like you're really like not like cause you're not forced to interact with anyone at all, bar whenever you need to do like a group work and everything. So like
You can
whoever
find a
your
group.
classmates are, like yeah, I mean it's kind of harder to find the group when like it's easy. Okay, if you're in a room with people, you can pick out the people that you can probably talk to or you find interesting or like you're like willing to talk to or try talking to, you know.
Yeah. Also,
Or like,
well,
oh, that
I also
person has like I like that game. Let's talk about that shit. Like there's a lot of things that can happen. Yeah.
yeah. A lot of things can happen, and that's also where you can find like people you have common interest in. Basically, yeah, college is like the reset button if you didn't enjoy your high school kind of thing.
That's true. I
Yeah.
agree Jen's statement na yan. People don't give shit pagdating sa college. Sorry
Kasi
for the
fresh
language.
again.
No, why are we apologizing for language now? I'm going to say
Well-
shit the entire time.
Well, we're going to put this on YouTube.
just don't say fuck in the first 8 seconds and we're fine.
But you just said it, so I just gotta have to edit that out eventually.
Exactly.
Speaking of like, so how long were you like study from home, or were you like 2 years that you were just at home
Ooh,
studying
shit.
at home?
About 2 years, I'd say. Like there was like grade 12 and God.
Grade 12 and God.
First year college. I didn't even finish
Grade
first year
12 and
college, 'cause I just,
God.
like straight up.
You ascended into godhood. Wow.
That's like okay. Hi. Like grade 12. I wish the things I would do. Anywho, like yeah, grade 12 and then like first year college. I didn't even finish the first year college because I was like, no, this is not for me. Online is not for me. Like, I can't do this. Nah. Like add to that I didn't really enjoy Baku that much, and then like the isolation from the fact that I didn't really know anybody was okay. Yeah. Nah. So like in grade 12, I still had connections at like grade 12 because like that's still high school. I still have friends from high school. We have like the same classmates and everything, grade 11 to grade 12, because it's the same class that you have for like those 2 years. So like I was still in I still had like a bunch of connections to those people. But when you're not like forced to interact with them in some sense, that like the thought of interaction is not really there when they're not physically there. It's still a lot of like just not talking, despite the fact I still knew a lot of people in the first year of quarantine and like had those connections and friends. God, like it was really hard like connecting with like the friends of mine I was closest to because like at that point it's like yeah I cannot maintain friendships properly when it's just strictly online. I learned. So that was like a bit of a problem. And then yeah, like for the first half of it was like I was still like with my class and like I sort of like changed like programs ish, not really like thread and everything. Just like okay, I'd rather do it this way so that I can actually get stuff done. And just like work completely solo essentially, like completely individually for like the second half of that year.
Oh. So how about naman, yeah, you mentioned nga quarantine eh. I remember like the first couple of months in quarantine that I was enjoying it kasi there was not much work and I get to sleep all day. But then by this like third month
That's
or
true.
fourth month, that's when the anxiety kicks in or the what does it call it? The cabin
It definitely
fever
hit you
kicks
now,
in.
like the
Oh.
money situation kicks in, or
Yeah,
like yeah, cabin
yeah,
fever.
yeah,
Like
that's the one.
when you're confined to like the same like four walls, it's just like damn, I need to get get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
Kitchen, bedroom, living room, bed.
yeah. So what did you guys do during quarantine that, like killed your time?
So I
Kasi,
got into D&D.
so I got into D&D. Let's just jump to the point. But yeah, same. Yeah, nag-start yung quarantine March 2020. Kakalabas ko lang ng hospital noon. A week before, no, not a week. 3 days bago mag-lockdown, nasa hospital ako. Then, the day lumabas ako, then the day after that, doon nag-lockdown. And that
What
was,
kind of confines sa hospital? Were you COVID? Was it COVID already? You had COVID?
no, stomach ache.
Ah,
Bro.
Stomach
well,
ache. Yeah.
buti hindi ka rin nagka-COVID kasi by the time mag-lockdown,
Yeah,
syempre
buti di ka naka.
oh,
Yeah,
All
nung
the
nalaman
people that
naming
would be going to those hospitals.
nung nalaman naming magla-lockdown na, kahit uh, kahit pa-recover pa lang ako, okay, we're going out. We're going home.
Like, hell out of here before we
Yep.
catch the Rona. All right, okay, nope.
Mas
hirap nga nun.
walang bumisita sa akin. Sinyal lang. Almost a week ako eh. Pero yeah, dahil nga sa COVID, and nung sinabi na lang, hindi pwedeng lumabas lahat, uwi na kami, magsa-stock up ng kailangan, then we're good. Pero after that, ang weird kasi at work, I think 2 months kaming walang ginawa sa work kasi hindi nila alam kung paano kami pag-workin. Dahil new situation nga, ang lockdown. Yeah.
That's so true. Lahat ng work's new situation. Well, except for tech siguro. Kasi where I work, usually sa tech industry. So it was not that big of a deal to transition sa when it comes to tech. Pero with other industries, it was a big shock.
Pero due to the pandemic, I got into D&D. Yeah.
Diyan ka na nag-start. Well, both of you doon kayo nag-start.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, actually,
Well,
pandemic was when like I started playing. Oh, wait, no, sige, ikaw muna. I was like, yeah, I think you like straight up got interested during pandemic, no?
yeah, straight up interested sa pandemic, community episode, then yung mga YouTube videos ng Dimension 20 shorts nila. Hindi pa uso yung shorts noon pero clips from Dimension 20, Critical Role, and how they play the game. Yeah, dun ako nag-start. Then I tried looking for a groove for a while. So 2020 ako nag-start maghanap. And yeah, and here we are.
Hey, how about you, Gigi? So, pandemic, hindi ka naman pandemic player.
Okay. So like I got interested maybe 2019. Like it wasn't initially from like actually watching like live games. It was through two things. It was Joe Cap's series called Crap Guide to D&D, where like he talked about like classes and like making a sheet and like eventually it all culminated to like how to DM, like sarcastic little short bit on like each class and like what each thing does. That and then like even bigger influence on me was the animated series called like Fool's Gold. Like they eventually got their like own like source book from like Deck of Many. If y'all like remember, like there were like a couple of Critical Role ads, and even where like yeah, they were advertised of having their own setting in a book. But like I started off there, like watching Dingo Doodles, like talking about her game with in like 3.5, where it was like her monkey character along with like a druid, a magical girl, and like just a bunch of stuff that just goes wrong. It really just devolves into like crazy chaotic shit to like angsty monkey real quickly. But like it was really fun to watch, and I just like got interested, like like okay, I mean I've heard of D&D, and I like what I see here. Let's just check things out. And like I watched like some of their one shots where they would collab with like the small group or this like lesser known group. So I was like, okay, yeah, I like this. A couple of friends of mine were already interested, but like they weren't like playing. There was this one guy who I heard from another guy was like, oh, like I played D&D with like this dude. It's like, okay, get me connected, please. And then like I just started playing online at some. The first ever game I played was through like the suggestion of a friend who I get like just like sort of friend of a friend, like group in a group of ours. Like we just played Mobile Legends, and like he just blurted out at some point like, oh, I played D&D with like this dude. I was like, oh, really? And then like I asked like to be let into this group and everything. And it was someone from my school. There were two people from my school, but then like there are a bunch of people there.
Pinoy rin. Mga Pinoy rin, basically.
Pinoy. I think lahat sa grupo dun like Pinoy, but I could be wrong. Like there were a couple from my batch, a couple of people that I did know, while others were like in college.
High school siya.
Yeah. Like yeah, I started like 2020, like which is in like my last year of high school. Played like this this like half-elf rogue who just kind of wanted to do like cool shit, but then didn't really get the chance because everyone else was higher level there. The group wasn't really for me because like it felt that there was an established group there, but it took a while for me to play again after that in terms of like actually finding another group to play with. I mean, in terms of like how I got into it, yeah, I mean like I watched a couple of series on YouTube. I liked some of the other things that they did when I like watched the freaking actual play. I didn't even get to like Critical Role in Dimension 20 until much later, honestly. Like I knew about them, but I didn't really watch them because like it was a little bit daunting to see like, oh, that's a lot of hours to watch.
Yeah, matagal nga yung ano to. Well,
Yeah.
yung sa akin, this will show my age. Community episode, Advanced D&D 4th edition. That's when I got in.
Original community episode.
That was the whole edition behind. Naabutan ko si Critical Role when they were yung infancy, yung first campaign nila. They were just streaming through Geek and Sundry. It was the time when, yung sa akin, it was the time when board games was the new trend. It was before, parang yung boom business back then was board game cafes. Basically kasi parang it was a good timing for that hobby to have a golden age, what I call it. Kasi yun yung parang sobrang online na lang lahat ng tao. And it was a breath of fresh air to find an establishment now where all your friends can go offline, no eyes on the smartphone, and just talk. So it was that. It was a precursor. And after nun, the precursor people are going to board game cafes, and that's when it was a good venue for me to host D&D games. I was using 4th edition back then, and I was only playing with my theater mates sa college. I asked them kasi it was an easy adaptation for them kasi one, they role play essentially, kada production. And the only thing that they need to learn is the dice. So it was an easy adaptation. But then I took a break. That was before pandemic. So that's like 2017 to 2018. That's when I took a break from tabletop RPGs. Kasi yun nga, the biggest villain lagi is scheduling and life itself. And that was also when was 5th edition out here. Can we check? Oh, 2013. Oh, or mas later pa pala. 2014 pa pala, 2014. Tama ba? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I was on the way.
September 2013.
Ayun, so it was 2014. So I took, wow, hindi so tagal pa pala ako na nun, kung 4th edition. Kasi I remember it was the start na ng mga, like 4th edition was taking its swing. And I was still in college nun. And I didn't have the money to buy 5th edition pa. So medyo illegal pa ako. Illegal pa ako yung ano to. I just downloaded the 4th edition sa like PDF version. Before I didn't know that Wizard of the Coast never releases a PDF version. Not until when I dived into 5th edition where some of the community said, no, Wizards of the Coast doesn't release PDFs. If you have a PDF, then that means that's pirated. Ganun. Oh, okay.
Ho, ho, ho.
So I was running 4th edition.
Freepdf.com.
na PDF, na pirated. And back then rin, I was doing extra effort kasi I had to print out a player. I was running it super like traditional pen and paper. I was printing out from a printer yung mga character sheets, and then I buy like this pack of pencils that ano to. It was enjoyable rin back then kasi nga, yeah, as you mentioned nga, yun yung phase nga na people are too much online and they are looking for an activity that doesn't require smartphones on your face or computers in your face kind of thing. Kaya swak lagi yung board game, and then swak rin yung pag-introduce ko ng tabletop RPGs to my friends. And then yeah, yung flash forward, nung lumabas na yung 5th edition, that was like, dun na ako nagulat kasi I took a break from tabletop RPGs sa 4th edition. Kasi nga, yun nga, life and scheduling with the group. Then, parang one day I was just scrolling Facebook. I don't know when the year was that. And then I can just see like people suddenly talking about D&D. And it was also this time na when Critical Role was exploding. So parang what was this? And I went back to Critical Role. That's when I saw yung first campaign nila na nag-record pa sa Geek and Sundry. And I was like, okay. Parang interesting naman to. As in, they're just streaming how they play. And that's also when the time na parang sabi ko, pwede pala namin ginawa to. Sabi ko sa sarili ko, kaya naman sana namin gawin to. But then yeah, life got in its way. So, it was also 5th edition na, and then it was taking off yung mga streamers playing tabletop RPGs, D&D. Taking off na yun. And then yung Fool's Gold, before that, I already watched their content sa YouTube. They didn't start with that. They were just also narrating yung sessions nila from time to time. And it was really an interesting time rin dun sa YouTube kasi that's when people are just trying to share their sessions, basically. And I was like, ano edition to? And that's when it dawned to me na ito na pala yung 5th edition. So sabi ko, how different is it from the 4th edition? And then when I dive in and got a copy, another PDF of the player's handbook.
Another PDF.
Yeah.
And that's when nakita ko yung parang, okay, it's like total pivot from 4th edition. It was like a big pivot. Kasi 4th edition, it was, when I studied the system, it was okay for me or swak sa akin kasi before D&D, I used to play yung mga tabletop wargaming. So, 4th edition wasn't like this problem for me in terms of all the systems. Not until nung 5th edition. Nung 5th edition, when I start reading it, parang ang daming like subjective. Until I stopped reading the book and went to YouTube para sana may mas digestible content. And that's when I found yung ito na sila Dingo Doodles, sila Offen Forest, na where they explained na parang D&D 5th edition is more improvisational freeform than previous editions. And that's where na parang akong, okay, parang interesting. And I consumed muna yung content, and later on I doubled back on the books parang to read. Tapos, ayun, flash forward today, ayun na, I have this, everything and all this stuff.
You have this wonderful server.
Pero it was also fun kasi nga, both pandemic and before pandemic, on the rise na ang tabletop RPGs. Kasi that was also, during those times, I guess, I don't know where you guys are during those times, merong Greasy Stitches. That's like a local D&D community here sa Philippines. That's where they got their start. They were posting their sessions sa Facebook. Hindi naman sessions, parang their pictures, how they're like this group of friends or group of nerds. Basically, they're trying to follow the template of Critical Role back then. Kasi ba Critical Role, they always open with a bunch of nerdy voice actors. Di ba?
Yeah, that.
Package nila. Dito sa Greasy Snitches, they're just like a bunch of nerds. Basically, yung package nila. And I met one of them in a convention, parang ESGS 2014 or 2015. Oh, so yeah. Nakaka-release nga ng 5th edition on that. So, ESGS 2015, I was there. I saw like a live play. I had a chat kasi they were like just hosting yung one-shots parang for people to try D&D. So, syempre, a lot were hesitant kasi parang, what game is this? What do you do? You know, yung usual like, nangangapa talaga kasi it's not like a board game wherein you have set rules and player options are specific, di ba? It's an arbitrary game na the objectives are a little bit vague, di ba? So it's a really fish out of water for any Filipino who tries D&D 5th edition. Then I guess ang nagpabilis sa adaptation of 5th edition is the pandemic.
Dahil nag-start yung mas lalong nagdami yung streaming, then
yeah, I guess Roll20 played a big part na nun.
Yeah, Roll20 for sure.
Roll20 played a big part na nun. Kasi if not the case, kasi medyo hard nga ang D&D 5th edition face-to-face here nung before the pandemic kasi nga everyone was like hesitant or parang what's that, I don't understand anything that's happening. And also you only have like a handful of DMs back then. Pero yun nga, yung pandemic siguro yung times 200, 300 ng adaptation of tabletop RPGs sa Philippines.
Dati I used to before talaga ako magpunta or mag-join sa mga D&D groups. Sa Roll20 talaga ako naghahanap ng people to join a group kasi parang doon lang yung alam ko. So, medyo natagalan talaga din ako makahanap ng group. 2022 lang ako na message ni RM.
Oh, so ang tagal mga naghahanap, diba?
Yeah, 20.
Parang you want to try the game out talaga pero parang you can't land.
Yeah, yun talaga yung pinaka hirap lalo na ng pandemic.
Like did you were you straight up like in like draft and everything where no game at all or did you have issues where like or not really issues I say like just cases where like you join a group maybe for a one shot, maybe for like supposedly a campaign and then it just doesn't happen.
I was supposed to join a group pero yung time nila is hindi compatible sa time ko since that time nag-work ako and ang time ko is ang time ng work ko is from 11 p.m. to 8 a.m. So international siya since Roll20. Ang game time nila is around 2 a.m. So, in the middle of work. So, hindi din ako maka-join.
Nahirap nga eh. Kasi usually nga D&D 5th edition was easier sa Western players kaysa dito sa Southeast Asian players. Yeah. More specifically sa atin.
It really is just like more known there than here. Which is really unfortunate for people that just want to play here.
Yun nga.
We just want to roll dice. We just want to role play.
I just want to play my little characters, you know, world, you know.
Akala ko sasabihin mo, Gigi, I just want to play my monkey.
I mean, not that I don't have a monkey anyway. I do have one.
I know you have one. I know you have one.
Pero Gigi, nakapag face-to-face ka na?
Actually, sa'yo RM, yung first face-to-face game.
Talaga?
That was my first face-to-face. Did you not? Oh, I thought you knew. Like,
no, I didn't know.
Kasi, like, all of my games, literally all of my games, all of them were online. My very first game used D&D Beyond and Roll20. Like, the groups I joined after that would just use a couple different things. The next group I would say became like a main group at some point had like D&D Beyond and Roll20 again, and then like I sort of dropped off that group for like 6 months and then came back and like they were still playing. Was like, oh damn, and then they kicked off this one problem player, which thank God. But like like I actually did get to finish a campaign with like these like American folk. Like they were really cool. Brought like a Goliath cleric, like Twilight cleric along. So that was fun. That was the first game I technically ever finished, but I didn't finish it like from start to end. Because I joined in the middle. But like that was on Roll20 and like D&D Beyond. I joined like a couple different like campaigns that never really pushed through. Where like there was this one that was like on Discord where it was this interesting world at first because like, it seemed like super like magical and everything, but then like it kind of got weird because it was super anime based, which was like fine. But then there was this like really weird guy that like had a necrophilia thing. I was like, okay, no, okay, never mind. And then like we never finished past session one because like the group was just too awkward. Just like kind of listing all the games that I have before like I ended up with like my main groups per se. Like there was this other one where it was like a pirate campaign that we never got to finish either because like the DMs because they were a pair they were co-DMing where like just ended up not pushing through, especially like this one person that would say, I hope that they're doing well now. I don't see their server active, but I hope they're still playing. But that was like fully on Discord. We just used like Discord bots and shit. Like yeah,
Mostly
I
online.
hopped to it was if not mostly then entirely online. Like
Entirely online.
after I like kind of skipped off on like the group that I first joined like ever because like I didn't think I fit. I just ended up looking for like a bunch of like random groups online, just like of strangers and shit. It's also of note that nearly all of those games, I think there was like one that was like, a little closer to our time zone with like that weird anime one ish that was like maybe like where the DM was at in like Thailand, but the one that I finished as previously mentioned like with like the Goliath cleric was an American group. I got up at 5 in the morning at times to play D&D, and then like that pirate one was also like set in like PST, but it was still I didn't have to wake up at an ungodly 5 a.m. at least. I could still wait until like after breakfast to play at 9 in the morning. uh,
Just
like
for ano na, almusal muna before D&D.
you know, yeah, like all of the folks I played with ever since, like, was on a online. Like the group I play with now is like I met online. The only one I technically didn't meet online was here because I got here with Silar through my sister.
Actually,
Like,
yung segue with Gigi's sister, she wasn't really active before. Kasi after we graduated, like I guess she like did her own thing. And yung sa amin naman kasi, yung some of yung theater mates, we were still like grouped together even after college. And then we would always hang out in parang Cainta Rizal on any long weekend. And dun kami either nag-D&D or board games for like the entire long weekend. So that's when I get always to host face-to-face games or like mini campaigns with them. So parang Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday, Monday, ayun. So parang dun lang kami, para kaming naka-retreat. And then no phones, no laptops, all offline board game lang lahat. Parang roll dice lang tayo dun sa place na yan. So it was fun kasi may one point rin. I remember yung first session namin, it was fourth session. As first session namin, I planned this one shot, and we were all kind of going with it. Pa, I was really like this new DM talaga, na had to check the books or worried about maybe making the wrong call. So what happens is sobrang opposite. Kasi for the rest of the party, yung tatlo sa kanila, they were so enjoying the idea of rolling dice and failing on the most mundane task. You know what I mean?
Failing.
we
Hindi success,
were
ah.
having a gag or like yung typical bullshittery na parang I swing my axe and then you roll a d20 and it's so low and then your axe misses and then just the idea of missing a super simple task is sobrang trivial to us na
Question.
tuwang-tuwa kami all the time.
You swinging an axe to an enemy or just swinging an axe in general?
Swinging axe in general to a tree.
That's
to,
fun.
How do you miss the tree? It's a
Yeah.
fucking tree. Yeah.
It was like that. And yun rin yung time rin kasi na ano to eh. I was trying to go with it. I was the more DM, yung first time DM na sige, I'll let my players do what they want. Basically railroad and stuff. And then yeah, it's naging super chaotic talaga that I had trouble back then like controlling pa. Not that was the first session, pero yung succeeding sessions, I got the hang with it. Kasi I asked for them feedback eh, na parang most rin ng players ko kasi nun they were like in theater, so they all have this loud personalities. So as a DM, I need to match their energy all the time. As in, if I didn't match their energy, I would get drowned. Parang ganun. That's why after the first session, I asked for feedback and they just straight up told me, you have to control the room. Or you have to control the room. Kasi you know this is your game or you know this is your session, then make us feel na you are in control. So I guess that was the first like DM tool tip that I got to for me. Na parang sabi nila sa akin, we were playing this game not knowing the rules, pero you know the rules. Pero don't show us that you don't know the rules. You know what I mean? Parang you can wing it. Parang yun sabi nila sa akin. And that's when like I got this confidence na, oh yeah, sige. That's the truth. Kaya hindi na ako nag-look back or worry na maybe I might make this call wrong. No. Kasi the players are already enjoying themselves eh. So it's more like just controlling the narrative, controlling the session, the chaos. Yung nga yung nasabi ko na, controlling the chaos. Then everyone will have a good time. So yung session 2 comes, another long weekend yata, May 1 na yata rin Labor Day. That was when I went LARP. I wore like this made up DM outfit and I had candlelights pa nun. And that was the first time I printed out like a battle mat talaga. I was using like 16 pages of short band then sa colored. So ubos lagi yung ink ng printer namin sa bahay nun. And I was just using like yung mga meeple, yung mga board game stand-ins for their minis back then. And of course, pen and paper. And yun, that was a big improvement kasi I took their feedback to heart. I controlled the session, their chaos, even though parang they do the bullshittery, but by the time I speak, I mean business, parang ganun. Parang that's when they all listen and also it made me as a DM feel good kasi parang they like the story, they're listening to the story, they're listening to what I have to say, and that was like more successful. And then the third session came in, and that was when ito na siguro rin yung first time ko mag-handle ng ganitong scenario. So sa sobrang nag-enjoy sila, they always ask me to run D&D. Pero may times rin ako na parang I want to play a board game. Parang may mga times na parang gusto ko na mag-board game. Pero but they were like,
parang gusto mo mag-relax muna.
Break muna. Pero hindi, gusto nila nun. And so yung third session comes, I was prepped. Pero nagulat ako kasi they invited the other theater people rin. Like yung other... Nice. So it was the first time I hosted a 15-man game sa Dungeon Crawl.
Wait.
So nagplan
15?
So 15 kami dun sa place. Nagulat ako kasi ang pinlan ko is only for 4, so Dungeon Crawl. Ibang 15. So parang napopulate yung dungeon ko nun. So parang, okay, ano na ba to? So it was the first time I ran combat na...
At that point, Survivor na yun or Hunger Games eh. Kung Dungeon Crawl siya.
What the fuck? Oh my god, that's like 4 times as much as you prepared for.
Ayun nga. Pero ang nakatuwa rin naman kasi doon, una I was worried with the 15. But then it all paid out kasi nga, like I said, since the other 11 of those haven't played or hasn't heard about tabletop RPGs or D&D. And when I just explained to them that you can narrate anything and the roll of the dice would determine if you succeed or fail. And the same as with the first session, they got like the bullshittery enjoyment of failing in the most simple tasks, opening doors, breaking locks, and all that. I was also pleasantly surprised with that kasi nga 15, looking back yung 15 na yun, well, like, Jesus, kung if you run that with random people talaga, half of it they will just get bored or bring out their phones and ano to, like browse the net na. But
Yeah.
yung thankfully back then nga, everyone was engaged and enjoyed yung 15 na yun and
Question.
they loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, question. Was that in 4th edition? I'm imagining the
Fourth,
combat of that.
yeah, fourth, and then slowly moving to fifth.
Pero yung dungeon
like
crawl
5th
nyo
was
is
out by then.
fourth.
Ha?
Yung dungeon crawl is fourth.
Yung dungeon crawl na ginawa ko, yeah, is fourth. Kasi I still used yung minion system so I could just throw in like 100 kobolds. Pero these are just 1 AC, 1 HP type of stat blocks. So they made them feel like one swing of a great axe. Parang nakaka-cleave sila ng 10 kobolds. And the players love that. And then 5th edition came in, and when I was already moving na sa 5th edition, yung scheduling happens na. It's hard na to, kasi everyone na suddenly landed jobs and everyone was, iba-iba na yung schedule, that we wanted to go online sana. So I was browsing like virtual tabletops, like Virtual Foundry, Roll20, pero it's like no avail kasi parang for them is like, they told me parang RM, parang mas okay kung face-to-face eh. Parang online is spotty for them, they told me. Ano sabi ko sila, try lang natin. And then we tried. And yeah, I guess yun na yung, yeah, it's weird kasi nga everyone needs to take turns kasi you can't speak over each other unlike face-to-face.
Yeah.
So yung banter didn't
The
come off.
banter.
Diba? Yeah, kasi like I mentioned, they all are high and loud people. So you can imagine the banter automatically if it's face to face. Pero in online, parang nasasapawan na parang, oh, they do the banter, but then minsan yung punchline ng joke falls flat na kasi parang I didn't hear it kasi nga nasapawan ni player B. So and then that's when I stopped, parang took a break and I said, sige, let's schedule na lang when everyone's free. And we get to play na lang siguro once a year na before pandemic yun. Once a year.
Once a year? Parang annual thing na siya ng friends nyo.
Noon. And then, yun na rin yung time slowly I transitioned na from printouts to I was buying na yung mga WizKids unpainted minis and transitioning to set design and doing this arts and crafts of terrain. Ayun. Kasi parang I find tokens back then na parang it's not on my taste. Parang it can be more, sabi yun yung sa akin nun. Then pandemics hit, stuck at home, and then Riavi comes along and says nagparamdam ulit siya after the long hiatus that she was gone and just mentioned na she is interested in trying out D&D. Hindi naman sinabi interested pero na-mention lang niya sa akin na nagtanong muna siya kung do you guys play D&D, and doon siguro yung parang time to dust off the the stuff kasi na. And then ayun, here we are.
And that's a wrap. That's the end of our session, everyone. That's the end of our session 0 for Tavern Talk. Thank you everyone for joining us today and listening in to our discussion about how we got into playing D&D, and yeah, that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed the discussion, and we're going to see you soon on our next sessions. We're going to call it a sessions now because tabletop, diba? We call it sessions. And before we part ways, I just want to express my deepest gratitude to our listeners, and definitely we're going to create more of this. If you have topic suggestions that you want us to talk about, don't hesitate to reach out. You can email us. You can put in the comments. Sabi nga ni Brennan, get in the comments, diba? Get in the comments. And we'll definitely put it in our future sessions. And of course, before we go, a big thank you to my incredible party mates, Gigi and RM, for sharing their background stories on how they got into D&D in the first place. Definitely a good talk with them. And remember, to our fellow adventurers, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so oh, our community continues to grow and learn more about Dungeons and Dragons. And this is CJ signing off for Tavern Talk. Until next session, everyone.